What's up, y'all? This is the new Anything Goes podcast. Anything goes. And I do mean anything goes. Yes, sir. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Big Ski. Big Ski, baby. The other host is Dusty Joe. Dusty Joe. And we got a special co-host from time to time, my boy Neil Ray, that'll be tapping in with us. Ray. Man, we talking about it all. So welcome to the show, baby. Anything goes, my nigga. For real. Anything goes. I'm on the block and getting hot. Niggas crazy. Niggas tripping like bitches with these. Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Big Ski.
It's your boy Dusty Joe. Your boy Neil Ray.
Man, y'all back with another episode of Anything Goes. Today, we have a special guest in the house. Guest, will you please tell them what your name is?
It's Fabs with a $sign.
Fabs in the building. How you doing this morning, mama?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Oh, we are great. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Yet?
Yeah.
Come on, Joe. Already?
It's still kind of early.
Still early.
Already, Joe.
Sort of, kind
of. Come on, man. Already. So, Miss Fabs, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm a Virgo.
Right on?
Yes. I was born in the years of the sevens.
Interesting.
Yes. And the 80s. There's nothing like the 80s.
The 80s.
And I know how to skate.
Hey, that's when people knew how to skate back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Really,
You mess around and give kids skates now, they be like, huh?
Yes.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, except my kids.
Oh, your kids
It's
learn to
so
skate?
important for me that they learned how to skate.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said you have kids, because
Yes.
our following question, all our new guests, we asked them this certain little question, like, do you have anybody special in your life? Are you married? Do you have any kids? And what's their age?
Okay, so since I already said my kids, I have 2 boys, 2 girls, and my oldest is 27.
Okay.
And my youngest is 21.
Okay.
He'll be 21 in May.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging that. That's what I like.
And I'm single.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Miss Fabs
It's
is
been 3 years, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
Okay. I know being single sometimes it's a blessing, and sometimes it's a headache.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Some days you just get kicked in the ass.
Yeah.
And you just,
True that.
like, what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
And other times you're like, ain't nobody out there that can handle me anyways.
Tell me about it.
I
Bro.
come with a crazy friend.
And the crazy friend is in the house, cool as a motherfucker though. Hopefully she'll join us in the after hours when we hang out. So I mean, if y'all with us in the after hours, please find out who the crazy friend is. No, she's super chill. Both of y'all super chill.
Thank you.
So tell them exactly what do you do?
I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I do a couple of different things, but right now I'm focused on my writing.
Okay.
I've been a writer ever since I was like in 5th grade.
Really?
Yeah. I used to write poetry all the time.
Really?
And I'm like, sometimes I go back and read it and I'm like, damn, what the fuck were you thinking? Like,
Damn.
what were you on at that age?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's a really good outlet. I mean, it's been the outlet for me.
Now, have you ever did any spoken word?
No,
Are you interested in it?
I am.
Because we have a platform here called the Anything Goes podcast,
Yeah.
where you are more than welcome to come and do some of your spoken word.
Yeah.
We would love to hear it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I need to get back out there. I've been isolated with just, in my head so much for so long. And now that I'm writing and stuff, I'm like, damn, I really need to start accepting some of these invites to come in, because I did not realize how powerful my little books were. Because, like I told Joe, I'm just an average person, dude. Like,
Really? Now, how many books do you have?
I have these 4.
Okay.
So the one at the end was my first one.
Okay.
And it was like really raw, like just everything that I've been through, from the first memory to like everything that broke me.
Really?
And I got a lot of I hurt a lot of people because they didn't know what had happened to me at a young age until they read the book.
Really?
Yeah, I've read both of them.
Okay.
And they're very, if you haven't read them, you're missing out.
Okay.
So it's very detailed about your life, huh?
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I had a lot of people, Fabs, thank you for writing this, because this had happened, and to see you in your state of where you're at in your life right now, it gives me hope as well. So
courage.
That was okay, maybe I'm supposed to do this. Maybe this is what my passion was.
Yeah.
So then I started doing visits at junior highs and started talking about my book and stuff like that. And I had one girl come up to me and she was crying, and she gave me a hug, and she was like, my mom's the same way. My dad died, over heroin too. She was in tears. So I was like, you know what, girl, I got you. And everybody like you.
You know what? For a person growing up, there's a lot of people that went through similar situations that you went through, but a lot of people won't talk about it. But to see somebody with courage to write about it or speak about it, it gives them the courage to come out of their shell as well. So people needed this. That's why the girl could relate to you, because she needed this. She don't know how to tell average people her story, but when you told it for her, she was like, fuck. She can relate now.
She's like, I'm not alone.
Yeah, that's what it was. She's not alone. So that book is an encouragement to a lot of people.
Yeah, but to me, it's because I hurt so many people.
Now, when you say you hurt them, how do you mean hurt? Or can you describe it?
It's kind of, I can't really, because I don't want to go into detail.
Okay.
Who, was there at the time when some of these things happened.
No problem.
But I am thankful. Everything happens for a reason. I'm very spiritual, and I don't believe in coincidences. I've been blessed.
Now, when you wrote the book, did it bring people in the family closer?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was why are you saying this now?
Yeah, well, it was hurtful.
And then it was also I don't believe you. And then it was also you should have said something, I was right there, and it played out the way it needed to play out.
Yeah.
And I feel some of the things that had happened to me, I feel I took the blow for my girls, so I was they didn't go anywhere. I was scared for them, except one person, and I knew her family and all that stuff, so I let one of my daughters go, but my other kids didn't go anywhere. Because I was scared. But I feel if that had not happened, maybe I would have been a little looser with my kids and go here, go there, and it happened to them. So I feel because it happened to me twice, I feel I took the blow for both my daughters.
I can understand that. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Wow, I can understand that.
What was the point where you just said, you know what, I need to write all this down?
Well, when I wrote my first book, my oldest daughter was going through her identity stage, and it was always you don't understand, So one day I just started jotting it all out, and I was like, you know what, this is what your mom's been through. Yes, I understand. And I even wrote it out to help people, on your behalf, because these kids need to hear from our parents. We need to know, because we're not asking the right questions at school. We're not teaching them the right things at school.
That's true.
So I feel if I had better teaching at school, maybe it wouldn't have hit me how much it's damaged me at a later age.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And for you to write that down for your daughter too, I can some type of way see that bringing y'all a little closer, because she's like, damn, maybe my mom do really understand. Because we were kids at one point, but our kids seem to not realize that.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff they're going through, we've been through, and we're trying to save them. But at the same time, their situation is a little different, but they just, you don't understand. We do understand. We were there.
Yeah. I invented that shit.
Yeah, some of us parents tend to act like we holier than thou and be like, no, I wouldn't do that. No, I done did some shit. Daddy done did some shit, guys.
Yeah.
And I ain't proud of all of it, but y'all probably never know it either. But we've been there. So for you to write a book about your experiences, that's huge. That's huge.
Thank you.
I don't know. Everybody have some type of life story. But to actually sit down and write it out, how were you able to put all of this in the form of a book?
Well, I wrote it all out, and I started doing researching at like self-publishing and stuff, and started getting, you know, educated on the whole process of it. And I just went on a whim, and I hired, you know, not hired, but they helped me through the process, like creating the cover and, you know, formatting it for me and stuff like that. And I got it, and, you know, I sold a couple of them. Yes, I did, as soon as it came out. And like I said, it did hurt a lot of people, so I really didn't promote it like I should have. I just kind of like, fuck. I didn't
still
mean
never
to
too
hurt
late,
you
though.
guys, you know?
That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
When I feel that as a writer, you may not know that you're hurting a person. You're just telling your point of view.
Exactly.
You're trying to get out what actually happened to you and what went on, and then you're like, oh, fuck, maybe I did say that, and I shouldn't have.
And also, it didn't give anybody else closure to what they were thinking either, so they didn't come and be like, hey, what did you mean by this? Because this was my perspective of things.
Yeah.
So maybe we would have been able to hash it out some kind of way, and it become a testimony rather than like, this is really what really happened, and it gives us something to talk about. It gives us a dialogue on the book. But instead, I got like, I want to feel like I got shadow banned, man. Like, you know, I have like maybe 1 or 2 cousins that I still fuck with, you know, and that had wrote it with me through it all from the process. So, yeah.
Damn.
You had 2 new books, right?
Yes. So then after the first one, I wrote the All of Us. So that was basically like from this book to This Was Me Yesterday.
Okay, so it's pretty much a life. It's an extension to the life.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you're out of this phase, now you're going on to this phase. So I had, you know, I was working at a learning facility. It was like the best job a mom can ask for when you're raising 4 kids. You know, I was able to take them to school or to work with me, you know, when they were 2. Like I said, I was very like panicky. They didn't even get to walk, and I didn't give a shit if it was up the street.
Yeah.
And me and my older, she'd be like, you don't let me walk. And I told her, when you have kids, that kid ain't gonna walk either. She's like, I hate you. But you know, it's because I was stressed out, you know.
You know what? By me just growing up in the city, it's kind of funny, but my kids never walked to school either up until last year. Now they're both in high school, but all the rest of their life they never walked. And I'm like, I grew up in Compton. I know how Compton is. Yeah, we cool right here, but you step outside of this and shit can get real.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm not finna. My kids, they're not walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 daughters, and I don't think they've ever walked anywhere.
Yeah, it's stressful.
All the way.
Yeah, Ray gonna feel it soon. He got a little one.
Congratulations.
He already feel it. She's 7 right now.
Good luck. It's hard, especially with how things are now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm scared for my grandson. You know, we home teaching him and all that shit. You know, we're gonna have to.
Okay.
He's only 1.5, but we're already.
Oh shit! Okay. You're like, nah, you ain't gotta worry about that. But now, sometimes though, I'm gonna keep it real. It felt like we were sheltering my kids, and they were like in a bubble. So when they finally got to school and that bubble burst, it was like, shit, what was I missing? My parents didn't tell me all this shit. So I don't know, I kind of get nervous about shit like that.
Yeah.
Rachel said she didn't walk till she went to college.
Wow.
Yeah, the best
Her
thing.
shoes been in good care all her life. She ain't been no walking in the motherfuckers.
The best thing I could say is just be honest with them.
Be honest.
You know, don't lie to them about anything, no matter if it makes you look like an ass. You know, just tell them the truth.
I don't know if I'm gonna look like an ass, I might have to alter it a little
It's
bit.
kind of going back to the like, I made that mistake for you already. Look, this is what I did. I looked like an ass after I did it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know. So.
Yeah, but that's our perspective, and that's what we want to do and say to our kids. But our kids still gotta learn.
Yeah, for sure.
If they never touch that hot stove, they'll never learn.
Yeah.
So they gotta learn a little bit. Yeah, they gotta learn a little bit. So, like you said, the second was like an extension of your life. So, what kind of went on in your life on that one?
Man, I woke up. It was kind of like okay, I'm not the only one feeling like this. Let me just jot these down when I'm like laying in bed and I have these like triggers, you know, are feeling lonely. When you feel lonely and you're in a relationship, you're laying there thinking like, do you even see me like this? You know, and I'm like, I need, you know, you talk about these intimate things and people really sit down and they are lonely and they're like, damn, this is something, you know, this is not normal.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives. I read this, you know what, let me change this because this is what happened for this person who wrote the book. So it's kind of like a survival. I feel like these are survival guides.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So
from your point of view,
yeah,
okay.
and give you an idea what I did to try to change the situation, and maybe it will help you in some way, you know,
Yeah.
or maybe you didn't even think of that idea.
That's
know?
big. That's
Yeah.
big right there. Because a lot of us, we think of a lot of ideals, but sometimes we don't think of the right idea.
Right.
And they might have read that right idea. You're like, fuck, I tried everything but this.
Really,
Yeah, and it talks about relationships too, and you know, people will see it and be like, damn, that ain't fucking normal. I need to get the fuck away from him, you know, or her or whatever, you know.
And sometimes that's easier said than done.
Exactly.
A lot of us are going behind that big love thing. Oh, I love this person because of that. Or they're in fear.
Yeah, but it sparks something in them.
Yeah.
And it holds them accountable to no matter what decision that you're going to go. Like, either you're going to leave and really, because when we leave, we have to literally start from scratch.
Yes, yes.
It's like a blank canvas.
Yes.
You know, and
confused as fuck.
Yes, and we're out of our norm.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, fuck, what do I do now? So it kind of like sparks what I did. You know, because I didn't just do one thing. Like, I did a few things, trial and error, and you see me looking like an ass. But you know what? I did the mistake for you.
Yeah.
This is what happens if we do it this way. And I always say we because it's not I. I feel like we go through this.
Yeah.
We are together, so that's why it's titled All of Us.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
okay.
All of us
That's
shot.
interesting.
Yeah, all of us shot. No, all of us got shot. All of us got shot. Sorry. I get so passionate when I talk about these things.
As you should. As you should.
Yeah, and so my third one, it's not out yet. It's titled Spiritual Awakening.
Okay.
And this one is about, I'm awake.
You
I'm
see shit
awake.
now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm awake. We're not doing this shit anymore.
Okay.
This year is about doing, not talking.
Ooh.
Like, we're going to make your first, even if it's just like one step, we're doing that step today.
Okay.
You know, and
Okay.
then I
That's
also
big.
put my playlist, you know, shout out to Sammy. My music, we did our first whole like playlist, and I put that in there, and you know, how we kind of created that whole cadence and stuff like that. So that's in there, and some chants. You know, I say chants, but it's also like prayer. It's just a different word for prayer.
Okay.
You know, and kind of give you an idea to write your own prayer. Like, we don't have to just go to a Bible and like, this is our prayer. You can literally sit down and write your own prayer.
Yeah.
You know, so that's in that book as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And then the last one is just a poetry book.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I was talking to you earlier about poetry. It's clear that you're still writing it down since you said this one is about poetry. What do you love most, writing poetry or writing books?
Writing poetry because it becomes a book.
Okay. I used to try to dabble in poetry a little bit because I rap and I have to write down the lyrics. I do my music in forms of stories. So people are like, why don't you try to write a poetry book?
Yeah.
And I dabble with a little bit of poetry, but I don't know. I find more passion when I'm doing my lyrics than I do with trying to put the poetry out there. Maybe it's because I don't really know the right way to do the poetry. Some people like, just say what you feel, just like when you're doing a song. But it's a little different when you do poetry.
Well, the beautiful thing about writing poetry is it is a song. You just have to find a beat to sing it with. So your lyrics, yes, but it's your poetry. That's what it is. And then we find a melody and we're like, okay, this sounds like how I'm feeling with these words that I'm writing. And you just kind of put it together and it becomes a song.
You know what I love about this poetry book and your other books? This is stuff that it's a talent, it's a gift for you to be able to create this and write this. A lot of us have our own special gifts, but we don't use them. You tapped into yours and you actually start putting it in words, putting it on the book. And it's major. I wish you much success with everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Now, when you say that you write poetry, I heard that you write music as well.
Yes, I have been dabbling into the music industry. So one day I had a dream that I was writing music, and my friend Sammy, shout out to Sammy, she was in my dream singing to me.
Really?
Yes, like clear in my ear. So, and her and I hadn't talked in like 2 years, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I hit her up and I was like, hey Sam, you know, would you do this for me? And she did it without hesitation. So here 15 songs later, you know, we're just playing with it.
Yeah.
And we've got so much feedback as to like what is bringing into the house, because we're writing real shit. We're not just, you know, talking about, you know, my legs over, you know what I'm saying? We're not like so provocative. Like we're writing about real life shit.
Now, is any of the music out?
Yeah, everything's on YouTube, Pandora, Apple Music,
What do they look for?
iTunes, Fabs, Fabs, or Agape Love.
Okay.
LUV, Agape Love.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of that.
Yeah, I can send you the playlist.
Please do.
Yeah, and we did 2 videos, so we had fun with it. We're having fun with it, you know.
Okay.
And she's trying to get me out of my shell, you know. She's like, you really need to sing. You
Well,
know?
how about you and her both come out of y'all shell, come here and perform for us one time?
I mean, she sings amazing. So I tell her, like, when you start singing, I don't want to sing. I want to hear you sing, because that's how beautiful you sing to me. I'm just like, Sammy,
Again, that's
sing,
another
like that,
talent,
you know?
though. That's a talent,
Yeah.
though. Some people have voices of like songbirds. You know what I'm saying? Once they open their mouth, they're captivating. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then for you to know the person too, it's easy to get caught up in the moment. Like, nah, I don't want to do that. I just want to hear it.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that's big.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if y'all can find it in y'all schedule one time to come and get out for us, we would love it.
Yeah, I'm sure she would love to come out and perform.
Okay.
And she's opened up doors for me as well. Like, for example, to come and have a dialogue with you guys about something, you know, and sparking my music. We could talk about my music, you know. And she's recommended me to Chase. Shout out to Chase. Sorry, I'm like so excited right now.
As you should
shout
be.
out to Chase. He's a super producer that I've been training under. He's been showing me how to like set up and lay out music and you know, more on a professional, like, you know, level on paper. Or not on paper, but you know what I mean, like laying it out on a song.
You know what this sounds like? It sounds like you very busy.
I mean, I'm trying to be. I try to fill up a lot of my downtime so I don't feel lonely.
Okay.
And I don't like think about the things that I'm trying to change. I'm just changing them as I'm going.
That's
you know?
big. Hey, do you have a favorite place that you go to write?
The gym.
How do you write in the gym? Well, no, I take it back. I have a few albums that was written at work. So I was gonna like, how can you go to the gym and write? But it's like, I found time at work, so let me not ask that one.
Yeah. When I'm there, I actually, you know, smoke a little bit, and then I get in there and I start doing my routine. I just block everybody out and just start thinking of the things, my day, tomorrow, you know, what I need to do so I can visually see what needs. I think it's just visions that I have, and I see it more clearly when I'm in
Now,
that
do
zone.
you ever have to write down ideas while you're at the gym? How does that work?
Write ideas as far as what?
Like you may have something that just sparks you and you're like, fuck, I need to write this down so I can start adding to this. And by the time you get to paper, you lose the idea.
No, thank God for technology. But when I hit that mat or something and I'll just go through beats and just listen to how I'm feeling, it has to resonate. I have to feel the vibe. And as soon as I catch it, I'm like on my iPad when I'm in between, like, you know, whatever. And I'm just like, dude, that word sounds amazing. Let me try to find something that it goes with. Or I hear a song and I'm like, oh, I felt like that bitch right now. Let me write out how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, just something will spark it. And it's like sudden. It's not, I'm going to plan on writing 5 poems today. You know, it's just something that comes, you know. And sometimes I can grab it and I'm doing like 3 songs a day. You know, every single day I have so many songs with beats that are just, sitting there, you know. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, give me something. I'm like, here, I already have it, you know.
That's a talent.
Yeah.
There's so many people that don't even know how to start to even imagine to come up with anything. It's a talent.
Yeah, I mean, all of it together from the beginning with Sammy to with Chase right now and to all these other things that are opening up for myself and for her. You know, the good thing about being with her is I support everything that she does and she supports everything I do, because we know at the end of the day, you know, we did this together, and we have a lot to be thankful for each other, even if sometimes we're not doing the same project. But I give her ideas, she gives me ideas. We bring together what we see fit.
Okay.
And like we're doing this whole nonprofit organization with Unity, and the CEO is Lamont. Shout out to Lamont. So what we're gonna do is get kids that are at risk, have them go out and volunteer. And how I used to have it was my kids would go out to like a convalescent home and play bingo, stuff like that. And then when they show up to a couple of these things, I would host a photo shoot.
Oh, okay.
And then with their photos, if they're continuing to volunteer, I would submit their photos to a friend of mine who owns a talent agency.
Really?
Yeah, so she would get like first dibs on these kids that I have been grooming to change their patterns, because of course they're at-risk kids.
That's
So
big.
we're grooming them,
That's
and
big,
when they're
for
mature enough to be able to handle even an interview or how to like interact with people and stuff like that, you know?
That's big. That's
Yeah,
big.
so we're gonna bring it together. Sammy and I are gonna bring it together with Lamont, and we're just gonna, this is bigger than this.
Okay.
Again, I'm getting passionate, that's why I'm stuttering, so.
No, it's just fun. It's just fun. You know what I'm saying? Our fans are getting to know you, man. Again, tell them what your name is.
Fabs. It's actually my government name is Fabrine. It's the female version of Fabian,
Okay.
but I go by Fabs for short.
Okay, Fab. Now, where can they go and buy your books at? Can you please tell me that?
Amazon, yeah, you can go on Amazon and get it, or Barnes & Noble's website, you can get it, or you can go on winpublications.com or allofus.shop, and just kind of my biographic is in there. You can kind of get a feel for who you're buying from,
Okay.
you know, some reviews, stuff like that. Yeah.
So
It's in my bio on Instagram.
So which one of these is your most favorite book?
I would have to say my spiritual awakening one, because people are gonna trip out. Like, it's that simple to go from being one way of being to a spiritual being, knowing that it's like no pressure. Because some of us don't, we shy away from it because we don't want to feel pressured, or we don't want to feel judged, or I don't want to tell you my sin. You don't have to go in that box and tell you my sin. Like, no, you don't have to do any of that. Like, it's a personal relationship with you and your higher being. So when I say me and the universe, it's like saying, you're saying you and God, because God, at the end of the day, it's Alpha and Omega. So your God is my God. I just call it different than you call it, but we're still praying to the same higher being, you know. And this is like, you can do this. You don't have to feel judged. You can change tomorrow. Yesterday's already gone. You're forgiven, because you can't change that. Now, what are you gonna do about it?
And people need to hear that.
Absolutely.
They need to hear that. They can relate to it. Especially if they read it from the right person, somebody that's down to earth. They was like, fuck, I can relate to that.
Yes.
So that's actually real big. Now, I know you come up with the inspiration for doing the music and stuff like that, but where do you go to write when it's time to write books? Is it still the gym?
No, that's big. I write my poetry and music at the gym, without a doubt. But
because the books, it seems like you want a little bit more quieter space, or a little
like
bit more
I
intimate.
just smoke, put on music, and just go at it.
Is it a favorite place in the house you like to sit and write, or?
And on my bed, really.
Okay.
Just sitting there,
Where you're comfortable.
Yeah, where I'm comfortable in my environment. You know, I can actually get into thought and get into, because our mind is so powerful, we can actually go back to a day or a time and feel that actual energy that you felt. Our music, it takes us back. So in our minds, we're time traveling, even though we don't know it in the physical form. We're really time traveling back to that, to be able to tap into that energy, and then you can write it out like it happened yesterday, because it basically just happened right then to you when you were thinking about it. Don't think I'm crazy.
No. How long does it take? How long does it take you to write a book? Or is there a time limit to it?
The All of Us one, it was fast. I was going through a whole transition in my relationship, and I was, you know, feeling a type of way, and it took me maybe like a week to put it all together, and then I would submit it to Aurelia, and then she would read it and be like, okay, this is good, this is good, and she would lay it out. Win Publications. She's dope. Yeah.
That's interesting.
What advice would you give somebody just trying to start out?
In what aspect? Just in life, or in writing?
Writing.
Nothing's dumb. no idea is bad or stupid or anything like that. Just write it out. You know, you don't have to tell nobody you're trying to write a book. You don't have to tell nobody what you're doing. You can start off in a journal, and it could just be like, today I was fucked, and that's what you're writing about. And then tomorrow you might be like, I was fucked because of, you know, and then that's where it starts. I really think.
Now, do you ever take a journal with you and just jot down ideals? Or do you record them on your phone?
I try to take a journal and start writing things out so that I'm actually handwriting things, but it just never, I buy the notebooks. I have a few of them, but I never get to do that. So when I'm thinking about something, you know, thank God for technology, I just get in my Google Docs and just copy paste the beat if I'm doing a song and write the lyrics out, or I just write the lyrics out of poetry. So I have an assistant, Kelly, shout out to Kelly. She goes through my Google Docs and stuff like that, keeps me organized, does all my social media. She has access to all that stuff for me, so she helps me with all of that as well. Yeah.
Hey, at this point in time, we like to do our little segment. We go called I'm tongue tied today, but our segment is called Gripe of the Week, and we're gonna let Joe start it off. Joe, do you have any gripes of the week?
Yeah, I sure do.
Come on, Joe. What's going on with you this week, bro?
Just, you know, where you're at work and it just seems like the work you do, it's never good enough.
Joe, that's everywhere in life, bro. I don't care what you do, it's never enough.
Never enough. No, you got a set assignment, whatever your job title. They just seem to throw more and more and more and more and more on you.
That happens.
Because maybe they see your potential. Even if you're not being rewarded for it, the potential's there and somebody sees it.
Interesting. That's a way to think about it, Joe.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. So how could that still be a gripe of the week, Joe?
Still a gripe of the week.
All right, fuck it. Still a gripe of the week. Fuck that. All right, so Miss Fabs, a gripe of the week is something that could have pissed you off. It could have been something small from somebody cutting you off from driving, or somebody not wearing a face mask and coughing in front of you. Just some silly shit. But a gripe of the week is anything that pissed you off this week. Do you have any gripes of the week?
Man, my Starbucks, it used to be my favorite one that I go to. It just tastes burnt.
Really?
I was literally by the whole speaker thing for maybe like 15 minutes waiting for them to come back, because they're like, hold on a minute, and I'm still sitting there, and I'm getting, you know, I have bad anxiety, I'm getting flustered. There's like 4 people behind me at this busy ass Starbucks, and by the time I get up there's no cars in front of me. You know, and it tasted like shit.
Really?
The cup was messy. They didn't even have the sleeve.
Really?
Thankfully, it wasn't even hot. And I was mad about that because it wasn't even hot.
Yeah, I'd have been pissed.
Yeah.
I'd probably pull it back around like, nah, but
I
if
wanted
you going to work.
Cup. I was like, somebody's going to catch me on TikTok. I better not do that shit.
I'm like, this is bullshit. No, I think I'd have went in, though.
Yeah, I was upset.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gripe.
Yeah, it is.
That would have fucked me up, though. I'm like, and it's not even fucking hot.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
My morning fucking crack in a cup, man.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with my crack.
So what did you do?
I fucking drink it like an asshole.
Fuck it. It's still Starbucks.
We got paid for it.
I'm like, this expensive ass coffee.
I ain't gonna pour it out. This is bullshit.
You know what? Tomorrow I'm going somewhere else.
Did you go somewhere else?
I did this morning.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
How was
to
it?
get out. I don't like that. You know, I don't like really going anywhere alone.
Yeah.
I had to get out, and it was actually good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I hooked it up.
Well, Starbucks, y'all rebounded yourself, but it was at a different one.
But
You
not the one on the
fuckers.
baseline.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but fuck you, Starbucks. That's some bullshit.
We're doing our baseline.
And Dickery.
Yeah, you motherfuckers. Warm my coffee up, you son of a bitches. Hey, Ray, man, you got any gripes of the week?
Man, my only gripe right now, bro, is gas prices. Bro.
Man.
Oh, I'm gonna keep it 100. I got 3 cars. One of them is a truck, and my truck been parked like a motherfucker. So for the first time, I said, fuck it, because I couldn't start it, so I had to give it a jump, and I was like, I need to pull my truck out more. So I went to the gas station. They was like, you want me to fill up? I said, fuck you, put $60 in this bitch. I don't give a fuck where the needle land. To put $60 in this motherfucker. And I drove, and I was like, damn, I missed my truck. So Tomorrow I'm gonna go put some more gas in it.
It's funny. I filled up my truck. I got a truck. I filled it up the other day for $140.
That's what I'm scared of. I'm like, I can drive one of the other cars where it's gonna be cheaper.
I see that motherfucker hit 100 and it kept on going. I was like, wait.
I ain't even trying to go past it. I'm like, nah, you stop where we're supposed to stop. Fuck that.
Yeah, at this point, they didn't even ask us if we wanted lube.
Yeah,
Really?
they just, boy, it hurt.
You're not supposed to go there.
Yeah, it hurt. Yeah.
Well, I didn't really hear much from you over here. Do you have anything that you want to ask me about?
Man, you know what?
Opportunity?
As far as when you answered all the questions that I really had, man, I was like, oh, okay. But nah, it's just dope to know that you started young and to just know you kept it going like that, man. You know, for real. And like I said, man, I was telling Ski about, you know, just people that I got in my family that went through, you know, similar things. You know what I mean? And that's a touchy situation. I feel like it's big for you to put it on that platform and giving people opportunity to relate to what you're doing. You know what I mean? That's really big. You know.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Man.
A lot of encouragement just to keep on doing it. You know.
Yeah.
So when are your other 2 books supposed to be coming out?
I'm hoping by spring. I added more to the spiritual awakening. I added under serendipity. I don't know if you guys ever experienced a serendipity.
No, let's talk about it.
Man, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, but
Okay, well, let's not talk about it.
You know, it's like one of those things where you meet somebody and then like that's what I'm guessing. So
okay.
I had added to it, and then on this one, I feel like I need to add more poems to it. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head, like you said, not doing enough. Like maybe I should put more and more and more. But I don't want them to be big. I want them to be universal. You know, anybody can read them. It's not like all these hard words where you have to be like, what the fuck does that mean? You know. So it's reader friendly. Kids in like 5th grade can read it, which I'm thinking it should be starting there.
Okay.
In 5th grade. Like that's where we should be asking or talking and teaching. I mean, it's one thing to have like a sex ed class, but we're not teaching like the violations. What you do if this happens to you? Has this happened to you? Are you supposed to happening to you now? Like speak up. And you don't have to say anything. You just put the resources in the book, and they'll know like what to do or where to go.
Because a lot of people are confused. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, and they think it's normal.
Yes, or that they think they're alone. So that's big,
man.
Very.
Wow.
You know what? We almost ended, but I want to talk about my gripe of the week.
Okay.
My kids are in the sports. Both of my kids run track. We go to these track meets and we don't have parent participation. A lot of parents are not in touch with their kids. They don't really give a damn about how good their kids do and shit like that. So my gripe of the week is these parents that's not participating, that has lost touch with their kids. Man, these are your kids. Support your kids.
Yeah.
When I'm out there at these track meets, I try to learn each one of these kids' names. Even if they don't know who I am. And I'm yelling for them like I'm yelling for my kids because these kids need that.
Yeah.
So
maybe
my
the
gripe of the
parents,
week,
they've lost touch with themselves.
that could be big too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, a lot of parents don't know how to be parents, and I'm going to tell you, there's no handbook for this. This is a learning on the job experience type thing. Either you're good at it or you're not, but you need to try. And for me, it's not easy. But like I said, I'm out there every week. We even changed the podcast. We used to do a podcast on Saturdays, but since my kids had these track meets, I'm like, nah, we need to switch it over to Sunday so I can go to these track meets. I hate getting up, and some of them is long as hell, but I'm out there cheering for my kids as well as these other kids. My son is more of the star than my daughter, so my daughter used to think that we were only there to cheer for my son. I'm like, no, honey, we're here to cheer for both of y'all.
Yeah.
And my daughter didn't get it at first, but she saw me up yelling for her like I'm yelling for my son. And then she kind of realized that we are there for both of them.
Yes.
And when their friends roll by, I'm yelling for them just like I'm yelling for the rest because they need to hear this.
Yes.
True that.
And they remember, I promise you, because my oldest always tells me, like, when I was like, you're always out there yelling at me, I'm like, but did your throw in make it? Like, I pissed you off so much that you had it in your legs or whatever. My kids were soccer and they were travel soccer.
Really?
Yeah, and that was the best thing. I think coming from the background that I came from, because we come from nothing and on the streets as well, you know. and to have them soccer and then like travel soccer
Yeah.
and being like these really good soccer players,
Yeah.
that's what saved my kids.
Whoa.
You know.
That's dope.
Hey, you know what? I'm hoping the same for my kids because they're on the traveling track team as
Yeah.
well as their track team at their high school.
Yeah.
So my kids have been to other states with their coach and stuff. They're seeing stuff that I didn't take them to go see, but they're going and they're experiencing it,
Yeah.
and they're having themselves like young adults. They're being mindful and all this, but they're getting to see other shit, and I'm like, that's pretty good for them.
Yeah. They get to explore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's no doubt that when it comes time to go to college, that my kids are probably gonna want to go out and go somewhere else other than just around the house. They want to see some shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty big, but as a parent, I got to try to do everything I can to make sure this happens.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like you're a Navy mom, right?
Yes, my oldest, she joined the Navy.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, she came home and was already like, I did the physical, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me like you were gonna do these things?
Yeah.
She's like, don't worry, Mom, it's gonna be a while until I leave. Comes back, well, I'm leaving in a couple of weeks. You know, so I'm processing all of it. I've never been away from my kids the longest,
Yeah.
more than like a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and for her to go to boot camp, like that was hard. It was hard. But I had her wife at my house. She was
Okay.
living with me, so that helped.
Okay.
You know, she's still part of Karina, and so am I. So we leaned on each other.
Okay, because sometimes you need that help.
Mhm.
You're like, I don't know what I'm
I'm
gonna
like, I'm holding your wife for collateral, bitch.
do. You coming home, goddamn.
Absolutely. So yeah, I
I love
drove
it.
to Florida, like I was saying a couple weeks ago, because I had to, drive with her wife and their dogs and stuff and take her home.
Okay.
And then I flew back home.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
dope.
baby mom.
That's dope. That's dope.
I'm so proud of her.
Okay.
As long as they don't like make her go to Russia and stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about that shit going on, but
I think we should keep our nose up out of that shit. That's what I think.
we always in somebody's business.
Always. And my fear is if this shit gets so deep and then Russia like, okay, well y'all want to be in this shit, and they bring it to our home soil.
Yeah.
And then that's the shit that I'm kind of a little worried about. I'm like, we over there tampering with some shit. Y'all fucking up our gas and everything. We ain't supposed to be fucking with this.
Some Red Dawn shit.
Yeah. Yeah. They were saying that they were actually giving like 14-year-old kids weapons and shit like that to help protect them. And I'm like, fuck, that's some major shit. I don't know how we would be able to handle some shit like this. But we over there fucking with them trying to, bring y'all ass home. Bring our loved ones back. We ain't got shit to do with that. But, I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all feel, but that's how I feel.
It's stressing me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
stressing
for
me
your
out.
daughter to be in the Navy, that would be at the top of my
My
fear.
goodness. She's like, Mom, I can't tell you even if they do ship me out. I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean you can't tell me? She's like, I can't. I'm sorry. And she's so like by the book, you know?
Really?
And she's I just can't do it. And in my heart, I'm like, bitch, like,
Yeah.
you're in Florida. It's easy to get on a plane, 5 hours. I could see you.
Yeah.
You know, that's already a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I never like when you're a parent, like with your kids now, you don't expect them to move out of state away from you.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to them being home with you.
Oh, yeah.
She moved to Florida. Like, my kid lives in Florida. Get
Yeah.
your ass back by your
Yeah.
mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm happy for her. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm so proud of her. Like,
Yeah, it's
she's
just
my
still the
rock.
phase that you got to go through as a parent.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff my mom used to say to me, I didn't really get it when I was a teenager. But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, okay. My mom used to tell me she hears sirens all the time and she don't know if I'm laid out somewhere in the streets because I grew up in Compton. It was rough when I was growing up. And I didn't get that. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But my mom was like, I'm not. She couldn't sleep and I didn't really get it. But now as a parent, I get it, and that's what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Your child is away from you. It's like, how the fuck can I sleep at night? I'm used to
Exactly.
seeing you.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different.
When she came home from boot camp, I slept like a baby.
Yeah,
All
I can
my
imagine.
kids were home. I'm like, good night, fuck you guys.
I can imagine. Oh my God. Well, I will pray that she's safe
Thank you.
and that she stays safe and that she don't have to go to some bullshit over there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying that this fool that Russia has at Chernobyl, the Russian site, fucking nuclear site.
saying that's one of the first things they went after.
Yeah.
And it's leaking now.
Yeah. And my boys they work for hazardous waste, so they're
Really?
always my son some poor guy got into a motorcycle accident, and they were looking for his head. So, you can imagine the stuff that these hazmat people go in, they're having to go pick up all that shit that's out there,
That's wild.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Your kids, they seem like they would have you a little stressing all the time, a little bit. Like, your choice of careers, like, come on, what are you doing?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
But
crazy.
I'm so proud of them. They all
As you
make
should
good
be.
money.
As you
You
should
know,
be.
we all.
Hey, actually, can I borrow $5?
No, oh my, give me $2. I'm like, I need $2, guys. They're like, Mom, we need $1.
Hey, it never fails. I don't care how much money they make, they always want our money.
Oh my God.
Always. It never fails.
Yeah, I'm thankful though. My kids, they're very self-sufficient. They go to work, they do what they need to do. I don't get in their business.
Okay.
They're always in mine. Because I'm
As
single.
they should.
I'm single,
You
my
ain't
son.
mom and like, hold on, buddy. Who are you?
Yes.
Where you think you going, mom?
Yeah.
That type of shit. That's what they supposed to do.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it 100. They
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah, for sure. We all still live together. We have a
Okay.
big house. I make them pay some kind of rent.
That's
I
the
have
teacher
to
responsibility.
Yeah, and they do,
Yeah.
even though they may complain about it, but not very often.
But
do
no,
they
it's the
complain.
teacher responsibility
Yeah.
because you're not gonna be there every day, and they need to know how to handle certain stuff. That's
When
all
they
that
die,
is.
They need to know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, that's all that is. It's,
Yeah.
it's teaching them. So
Yeah.
by the time that time ever come,
Yeah.
then they'll kind of figure it out a
They'll be
little easier.
self-sufficient.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
figure it out a little easier. So it's a
Yeah,
good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our time is winding down, Miss Fabs, but please tell them where they can go and get your books again.
My books you can get on allofus.shop or winpublications.com.
Okay.
Either one. My Instagram is Issa_Fabs, so like Issa Fabs.
That's what I'm talking about.
And in my bio, there's
Okay.
a link there, and you can go straight to where my book's at. Win Publications, though, they do have one where if you want me to sign it, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm going to sign your book. I'm just saying, like, if you would like me to sign it and send you a prayer or something with it, there's a link for that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of signing, Joe was like, man, I'm going to ask her. I was like, Joe, you better not ask her. But
Fantastic.
Joe want to know if you can autograph his books.
Absolutely, Joe. You're the one who invited me.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
cool.
about. Hey, but thank you for
They're
coming
gonna be
by.
worth millions one day.
I hope
Yes, they
so.
will be.
I hope so.
Yes, they
or,
will be.
Or save lives. That's worth
There you
more
go.
than millions.
Yes, it is.
Put
Yes,
a dollar on
it
a
is.
life.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Hey, but thank you for coming by. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
If you ever come out with anything else, or you have anything going on, or if you want to perform, this is a spot for you. But you're more than welcome to ever come back and talk to our guests, your new fans that you have on the show,
Thank you.
anytime you want.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was cool sitting here
Yeah.
and vibing with you guys.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. And you came early because of the drive, so I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
and also too, you always go as a female. You always gotta like check your surroundings, make sure.
You
like,
have to.
feel alive.
You have to. If you pulled up and this shit didn't look right, I wouldn't have blamed you if you didn't like look
Oh, I
here.
know. My girl was all. Are we okay?
Yeah, like, nah, I don't think we gonna make this one.
Yeah,
On some real shit, because you don't know.
Yeah.
But thank you for taking the chance. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey, this has been another episode of Anything Goes. It's your boy Big Ski.
It's your boy Dusty Joe.
Yo, Ray.
Tell them who your name is.
Fabulous Fabs.
Fabs in the building. Hey, we'll holler at y'all soon though. Y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Hey, don't go nowhere. We got the after hours coming, y'all. Peace.